Good day, everyone. My name is Karen Nozel and we are Group 2. So, ka-group ko po is si Wendy, Manuela, and Karen. Ang naka-assign po sa akin na topic na i-discuss po sa inyo is the immediate oral communication. So, oral communication implies communication through mouth. It includes individual conversing with each other, be it direct conversation or telephonic conversation. Speeches, presentation, discussion are all forms of oral communication. Oral communication is generally recommended with the communication matter is of temporary kind or where a direct interaction is required. Face-to-face communication, meetings, lectures, conference, interviews, etc. is significant so as to build a rapport or trust. Advantage of oral communication. There is high level of understanding and transparency in oral communication as it is interpersonal. There is no element of rigidity in oral communication. There is flexibility for allowing changes in the decision previously taken. The feedback is spontaneous in case of oral communication, thus decision can be made quickly without any delay. Oral communication is not only time-saving but it also saves upon money and efforts. Oral communication is best in case of problem resolution. The conflicts, disputes, and many issues difference can be put on and by taking them over. Oral communication is essential for teamwork and group energy. Oral communication promotes a receptive and encouraging morale among organizational employees. Oral communication can be best used to transfer private and confidential information matter. And there are disadvantages, limitations of oral communication. Relying only on oral communication may not be sufficient as business communication is formal and very organized. Oral communication is less authentic than written communication as they are informal and not as organized as written communication. Oral communication is time saving as far as delay interaction are concerned, but in case of meeting and long speeches consume lot of time and are unproductive at times. Oral communication are not easy to maintain and thus they are unsteady. They, there may be misunderstanding as the information is not complete and may lack essential. It requires attentiveness and great receptivity on part of the receiver audience. Oral communication, such as speeches, is not frequently used as legal record except in investigation work. Oral communication. Oral communication includes face-to-face communication and telephonic conversation. Oral communication includes lectures, speech, group decisions, social gathering, interview, and conference and meeting. So, merits. Facial expression and gesture make communication effective. It is the best medium for discussion as negotiation, interview, counseling, etc. Communicator can get known the reaction of message on receiver through his gesture and expression and tone. It provides immediate feedback. It save time and effort. Listener can get immediate clas- clarification of any doubt in his mind.
So, ako nga pala si Manuel F. Montemayor. Ang naka-assign sa akin na topic is visual component of oral communication. The visual component of lecture is important as in other cases of oral communication. And ICT technologies are changing face-to-face lecturing. In some object, an important component of the lecture content is given by visual images or other than that one of the speaker. A broader list of typical visual components includes key points of a talk indicated in a written form on a chalk or whiteboard. The derivation of mathematical formulas as well as mathematical formulas accompanying discussion of physical, biological, or economic issue. Next is chemical formulas and other less important formalism. Next is drawings and conceptual diagrams, all kinds of ready-made images, and last is real objects and process. ICT extensions of this communication are based on projection technology. A projector can greatly increase the size of an image if the ambient light is not too bright. In comparison with pre-computer lectures, these new technologies allows the following. Una is the speaker can combine pre-recorded images, including text, with images made during a lecture. Next is images of real objects obtained via cameras can be downloaded to a computer or connected directly to the projector. This technology allows for clearer visualizations and save time the lecturer needs to spend on writing. However, lecturers need to be aware of the following. First is text on screen should be economical. Sans serif fonts are easier to read on screen. Do not read the text from the screen. Screen text is a tag to what are you saying. Leave a little time for audience and observe slide.
So, I'm Wendy Sang para i-present sa inyo ang communication between teachers and student. Today, teacher-student communication, whether face-to-face, live, synchronous, or online, is carried out within strict temporally and spatial boundaries. These boundaries are largely imposed by the school timetable with its subdivision of the class period into a lecture or demonstration, sort of one-way broadcasting and consecutive conversation with individual students that may or may not involve attention and participation from the rest of the class. In sharp divide between in-school and out-of-school time where no direct communication and suppose. Assuming the school's information space is digitized, these boundaries might be easily crossed or broken down technically. However, to get where we first must face two new problems. The first is how to weave a reliable functioning network or a wave of mutual interconnection between all persons involved. The other is to allow enough time for each network user to communicate adequately with other network user. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga ang komunikasyon ng teacher at guro? So, teaching is not just about student supervision and inventing complex multiple choice tests. It expands its reach far beyond that. The key idea behind educating student, it is a grow an intelligent and healthy community. So, to attain the goal, an educator need to set priorities right and develop teaching methods and approach based on them. So, as our age becomes extensively digitized, the value of teacher and student communication is also getting higher than ever before. This requires to bring about change and education as soon as possible. So, karagdagan lang po dun sa report ko, giving giving prompt giving prompt feedback to student, providing student with a prompt feedback on any task they were assigned to accomplish is crucial. It is a continuing continuing element of an interactive approach which has a big impact on future academic achievements of each learner. So, kailangan as a teacher, kailangan po natin magbigay ng feedback sa mga student natin para alam nila kung saang part sila kailangang i-improve at saang part yung mahina sila, ganun.
Ako nga pala si Karen Palaganas. So, ang topic na nakasend sa akin is communication initiated by student. A good teacher need time and space to respond to student questions, statement, raised hands, looking through the windows, smiling, and other types of verbal and non-verbal behavior. As to encourage their participation in group activities, this vital human component is not throughout by the use of ICT. Indeed, we should think about elements of the teacher's role as being supported or automated by ICT. At the same time, ICT make possible new forms of teacher-student communication. As we know, email is revitalized letter writing, while voicemail and answering machine sometimes help when wanting to say something that is hard to do face-to-face. Student speech. Microphone and screen presentation can help students even more than teachers. There are many cases where a student who is considered weak in oral communication develop eloquence and even confidence by using screen presentation support. Then next is answering teachers' questions. One of the drawbacks of teachers questioning in the traditional school is that usually only one or two students are allowed time to answer during each class period. Computers, however, can record written and even oral answers by all students on the timeline. And the last is electronic digital lectures. Let us consider now the opportunities provided by modern ICT for broadcasting lecture with synchronous participation of learners. Synchronicity supports the organizational discipline mentioned above. A new opportunity provided by computer technology today is bilateral interactivity. Students can answer the question teacher asks and ask them question to all in a written form from wherever they live.